to go through the rules of differentiation, really understanding the concept behind differentiation and the rules of differentiation. So here we have where they give you some function f and a table of values for this function. Now the first thing that it asks you is it asks you for an estimate of f prime of 4. Now the only thing you need to know in this case really is that the secant line, the line joining 2 points, you want to make those 2 points as close to that value, which is going to be, if it's f prime of 4, that's the slope of the tangent line. So the slope of the tangent line can be approximated by the slope of the secant line. So for example, like if you have some curve, so imagine, let me draw a better picture. If you have some curve like that, and then here is the tangent line. If you want to approximate the slope of that line, you could do it by choosing 2 points, right? And then that's the secant line. And ideally, that the slope of the secant line is a good approximation for the slope of the tangent line. The closer these 2 points are to the actual point, then the better the approximation. So in this case, you look, x is 3 and x is 5. They give you values for f of x. So you want to find the slope of that secant line, and that gives you an approximate value. The work that leads to your answer here is you could write the slope of the tangent line at 4. The slope, again, that's the derivative of f at 4, is approximately the slope of the secant line between when x is 3 and when x is 5. So the slope of the secant line when x is 3 and when x is 5 is f of 5 minus f of 3 over 5 minus 3. And then this equals f of 5 they give me as 4, and then f of 3 they give me as negative 1 over 2. This is going to be 5 over 2. And that's part A. Now part B. This you kind of just got to know how to get the derivative of h, and you need to know that the derivative of a sum is the sum of the derivatives. So it's just that m prime of x is equal to f prime of x plus h prime of x. And then to plug in to find m prime of 3, you need to have a value for f prime of 3 and h prime of 3. So f prime of 3 they give me in the table. F prime of 3 is 8. So I have, then this is going to be equal to 8 plus whatever h prime of 3 is. But in order to get h prime of 3, I need to differentiate what they have here for h. So I'm going to take my time with this because this is a tricky derivative, more or less. Yikes. I don't want to do that. Okay. Let's see if I can do this. Oh, okay, I'll be able to do it. I can do that. There we go. No? I want to get this out of the way so I have some space. Why does it do that? I should probably read it, right? You can use the shift key. Okay, do not show this message again. There we go. Okay, and okay, so now I have h of x is equal to x squared times e cosine 3x. And it's tricky to get the derivative. You need to realize that this is primarily a product. So you need to use product rule with one function being x squared and then the other one being e to the cosine 3x. So this is going to be your g, and then this will be like your f. So it's the derivative of the first one, say 2x, times that second function, which is just e to the cosine 3x plus the derivative of the second one. Now, the derivative of this, you got to do chain rule a few times. You got to say, let's take it onto the side, and let's say e to the cosine 3x. It's e to the u. What's the derivative of e to the u? It's e to the u times the derivative of u. So it's times the derivative of cosine x. So again, just sit here and be like, okay, what's the derivative of cosine 3x? Not just cosine x, sorry. It's, right, this is, so I'm looking for the derivative of this prime. Well, that equals the derivative of e to the u, imagine cosine 3x is u, is just e to the u times the derivative of u. So I need to now find the derivative of this. And that, you need to realize that this is like u, and cosine u, the derivative of cosine u is negative sine u times the derivative of u. So it's negative sine 3x sine u times the derivative of that u value. The u value is 3x, so the derivative of that is 3. I'm going to put it in the front and make this negative. And then that's this entire derivative here. So it becomes minus here. So I'm just going to switch this to a minus. Like, oh. So I'm just going to switch this to a minus. And I'm going to write it 3 sine 3x times e to the cosine 3x. And then that's my derivative for just this part. I got to remember to multiply by x squared. And now this is my full h prime of x. I'm going to simplify it. I'm going to make it look a little bit easier to handle calculations. The way I'm going to do that is this term has a e to the cosine 3x, and this term has a cosine e to the 3x. So I'm going to factor that out. E cosine 3x. And then what's left in this first term is just 2x minus 3x squared times sine 3x. And now I need to find h prime of 3. So I plug in 3 into this whole thing. I have to use my calculator. It becomes e to the cosine of 9 times 6 minus 3 squared is 9 times 3 is 27 sine of 9. And now we got to go to the calculator. So I'm going to take my time. I'm going to do this twice and make sure I'm going to do it in a different order each time. So the first time I'll say e to the cosine of 9 times 6 minus 27 sine 9. And I get negative 2.0619. Okay, I would have rounded that to the 5, but whatever. Okay, then I know that, and I would plug that in to there. So I'd add 8 to that, and I'd get my value as 5.938 or 5. Yeah, just put the 5. I guess there we go. Now I have that, and that's done. That was B. Now, see, I would take my time. I would do this again a few times. I would do this at least twice. I only did it once. I'm pretty confident. But just, I would do it again. Now, let's check this one. Now, here you got to do product rule. And they want you to find n prime of 5. So, just in the general, right, what is n prime of x? For any two f of x and h of x, it's going to be f prime of x, and this is literally a way to define the product rule. H of x plus the derivative of h times f of x. And now you plug in n prime of 5. And you plug in 5 here, you're going to get f prime of 5 times h of 5 plus h prime of 5 times f of 5. And now it just comes down to you plugging in correctly. So I have an expression for h prime of x up here. So it's going to help me out, assuming I differentiated this correctly. You could take your time, you could differentiate h of x again and make sure you get back the original, the same thing again if you want to be careful, but I'm not going to do that here. So let's see, f prime of 5. They tell me that f prime of 5 is 3 times h of 5. So I'd plug in 5 into h of x. So h of 5 is equal to 25 e to the cosine of 15. So this is 3 times 25 times e to the cosine 15. I'm just going to erase this 3 and put it 75 e to the cosine of 15 plus h prime of 5 I'm just going to leave for the time being. F of 5, they tell me, is 4. So it's 4 times h prime of 5. Okay, now my task is to find h prime of 5. So h prime of 5, go up here. This is a good expression for h prime of x. H prime of 5, it's going to be e to the cosine of 15 times 5 times 2 is 10 minus, this is going to be 5 squared is 75 sine 15. And from here I got to go to the calculator. So from here I go to the calculator and I get second e cosine 15 times 10 minus 75 times sine of 15, negative 18.1378. And that is right here, so I'm going to multiply it by 4. And then I have 75 e to the cosine 15 minus, because this became negative, 72.5513. And then I'm going to find out what this value is. So that's going to be 75 times e to the cosine 15. And I'm going to do minus 72.5513. So that value, negative 37.465. And this is okay. This will be your final value. Okay. And this is correct. Both of these answers are correct. Now, that was C. And D is going to be very similar. What you're going to do now is you're basically just going to use the quotient rule. And you're going to follow a similar game that you play here, but you need to know quotient rule. So P prime of x, and again, this could be taken as a definition for quotient rule, is H prime of x times f of x minus the derivative of the bottom times the top function over the bottom function squared. And they want you to find P prime of 7. And that's going to be H prime of 7 times, I'm just going to find out what f of 7 is right away. So f of 7 is 6, right? Yeah, f of 7 is 6 minus f prime of 7. So f prime of 7 is negative 2. I'm going to switch this to plus 2 times h of 7. So I'm going to find out what h of 7 is here. So So h of 7 is 49 e to the cosine of 21. And I'm just going to do this. 2 times 49 is 98. So 98 times h of 7 is 49. I multiplied it by 2, so I got the 98 here. 98 times e cosine 21 over f of 7 squared. F of 7 squared is 36. Now I'm just going to sit here, and now I need to find out what h prime of 7 is. And again, this is just, you just got to take your time with this nonsense. H prime of 7 is going to be e to the cosine of 21 times 14 minus 49, right? Because it's 7. 7 squared is 49. 49 times 3 is 3 less than 150. 147 is 3 less than 50 times 3, right? 49 times 3 is 3 less than 53s. 53s is 150. So 3 less than that is 147 times sine of 21. And then now you get, again, use the calculator. You're going to get second e sine, cosine, yeah, I really messed up. Cosine 21 times 14 minus 147 times sine 21. Negative 63.0237. And that's just h prime of 7, so I gotta go back down here, and then I gotta say times 6 for that value, negative 378.1426 plus 98 times, and I gotta take my time with this cosine, e to the cosine, so e cosine 21 times 98. Okay, so that value minus 371.426 divided by 36 is negative 8. Okay, so then at the end of the day, I did all the work. You guys should get negative 8.9298. And then this is part D, and this is correct as well.